Good afternoon, guys. POE, here's a little video to just make sure we're all on the same page in terms of where you'll find things, what my expectations are. If you haven't heard yet, we'll be online for the rest of the school year. That being said, a lot of the building of things we took care of in third term. Yeah, I know you didn't get to experience the building of your last robotics or the last couple robotics things, which is unfortunate because they're kind of fun. But nothing we can do about that at this point. The fourth term was a lot about. It's a lot about. At least this part is about. I would call structural engineering. So you start in the connection to physics and some math, and that's what you're going to find as you've already found with some of the activities I've had you start. So a couple changes on how I'm going to deliver things. I'm going to delivering everything through Schoology, and that's the plan from here on out. I might occasionally send a video like this just to talk through some things, but for the most part, that is the plan. So the first thing you will, when you go into Schoology, I put a nice little GIF in there for you, a little Star Wars GIF. So if we start there, we can open up that one, maybe with my slow internet. And this is what you should see when you come in. My goal is to have everything linked in the daily activities, so you don't have to go into the folders for each lesson to find things. I tested all the links out for next week. I think they're good to go. So this is where I'd want you to start every day. You'd come in here to this location here. I'm going to open up in a different tab just so I can have I can jump back and forth a little easier on my screen. So when the daily activities comes up, you'll see what I have planned for next week. So first thing, this is not a race. I don't expect you to get through this in one day. It really is meant to take you through next Monday. You work at your own pace. I don't have set times that we have to get together. If we want a video conference, I think that there's only 6 of you. We can probably do that on an individual basis. You'd email me. We would come to a consensus as when we want to do that. And we use Google Meet. You might think you don't have Google Meet, but if you have a Google account through the school, you have Google Meet. It works pretty nicely. Or we could set up something in, they have conferences I can set up in Schoology. If you look over on my right hand or left hand side, you'll see I'm hovering over right now. That's conferences, and I didn't want to open that up, but I'll go back. But I can do that also if I set one up. It's video also. Allows you to chat, things like that. So when you look at this page, you'll notice that I try to put some directions. When I reference my project lead the way, that means I go to my project lead the way, and I get logged in. I go to my courses. Obviously, you will only have the one course probably. I will have multiples. And I'm going to pull up Principles of Engineering. And then we've already done lesson, we're in 2. Trying to scroll down here. No, I'm not trying to scroll that down. I'm going to scroll this down. Statics. We've done, we did the centroids and we did the free body diagrams. I'm going to work on this weekend getting you feedback on those. I did find some resources for beam deflection. So that's where you're going to start on Monday. So you'll need this activity sheet. Obviously, you will not need a 2x4 dial calipers, tape measure, permanent. You don't need those things. You'd have to have more than one person to do it. The video that I've linked in the activity, the instructor, the master teacher that put the video together did that at his home with, I think, a child of his. And he works through that, giving you the measurements that allows you to answer questions starting down here where it says primary lab calculations. So you'd use those the numbers he gives to do that lab. You do want to make sure that you do the structural members properties part first, though. Okay, so that is going to be it's not review. It's not review. I don't shouldn't be. But you'll want to go back and there's a video that goes with that also, and make sure you watch and do some of the math problems they have in there. That will start you off on lesson 212. That might take you a day or two to work on. I'm not expecting you to sit down for 2 hours or an hour and a half and work through it all at once. Work a little, take a break, but I do want it done by that Tuesday at midnight. Day 3 or day that's Tuesday. Tuesday, I also posted a right triangle review packet. It's ungraded, but you do need to practice your right triangle trig. SOHCAHTOA, Pythagorean theorem, using your calculator to calculate, because those are important skills to everything we do here on out. That is all math that you should have had by now. And so that is, like I said, that's just some math. You can probably do that this weekend if you wanted to. So that lesson on Tuesday is not a big deal. It's when you start. Starting on Wednesday, 1, 2, 4, things are going to start getting a little bit more challenging. There's a couple of videos. Definitely watch the videos again. Instead of me recreating them, Project Lead the Way gave us some resources to master teachers. Master teachers are teachers that have been doing this for a long time, and so they put things together. So there's some. Again, a little less work for me on my end of recreating all that stuff that's already there. Hopefully the links work. If the links don't work, shoot me an email and say, hey, this link's not working for me. I can send you that link individually if I need to. Again, I've linked to your assignments. So if I click on an assignment page, so for example, for 121, when I click on the link for assignment page, once I get my cursor, that should take me to an activity in Schoology. And we're being patient here. Maybe I didn't click it. There you go. And this is where you will get the Google Doc to answer all your questions on. So when you open this up, it takes you to a Google Doc. This is where you're going to answer the questions, just like you would in your notebook. If you use your Chromebook, you might even be able to write in here. I'm not positive how that works. Or write on a piece of paper, snap pictures, insert them, or do the activity pages. Come over here and you write your answers in these blanks, or type them or whatever, and then you'd screenshot those things over into this activity. Your activities need to be done through Schoology, so then you can submit them. So once I'm done with my activity, there should be a submit button somewhere over on the right for you. Okay. And then I would be able to see submissions that you have done. And then I'm able to look at exactly what you turned in. I do not want them emailed to me. It's more cumbersome. Emails get buried. I have a lot of emails coming through right now because of all the things that are going on. So emails questions, but do not email me your work unless it's a question about your work. If you're submitting something, it needs to be done through Schoology. So if I go back to my activity or my daily activities page, again, you'll see several different links. The video links are YouTube. I don't know why they would be blocked. I'm hoping they won't be. I put due dates on when those things should be completed. Again, you're answering questions about activities. So again, this gets challenging as we work through here. You'll notice I'm not doing something every day. I didn't do anything on Thursday because I figured that would take you 2 days. The next 216 is going to take us a few days to get through. But you got to be willing to ask me questions and send me questions. So if you're doing some math and you're stuck, the best thing to do is shoot me an email with a picture of the work you're doing. And you could actually, if you want to record your question, you can do that and send it to me. I'm pretty open, or we can video conference. So our class is scheduled to meet from 11 to 11:50. I will probably, at some point, we'll probably meet all together. I mean, again, there's only 6 students, so there's 7 of us. We can do a Google Meet pretty easily, and just have a little discussion about some things. And I will schedule that maybe next week. I'm going to think about it over the weekend, and then I'll give you some input on that. So hopefully that helps you with knowing where things are. If you go back to the course, there's a folder for 2-1 that you might have gotten your first assignment in. You do not need to go here. I do have them all linked within the daily activities page. So I'm really trying to give you one place to go and not have to. I'm looking for completion on this stuff, guys. End of course assessment is not in play anymore. So I'm looking for you trying things out, asking questions. If you do those things, you're going to end up with a good grade in this class. If you're not checking on things and putting some time into it, it's going to be obvious to me that you're not doing that. And I think I'm not too concerned. I think most of you will do a pretty good job of that. So please send me your questions. And we're going to work through this the rest of the year. I guess we're lucky we did all the hands-on stuff early, or the big part of it. Most of the rest of the stuff would have been hands-on, would have been activities where you're like you're going to see there's an activity would have done with the beam deflection, looking at how much the 2x4 bends based upon its properties, and how that transfers into other things. Later on, there's one activity I'd love to have you run on a computer. Not sure we'll run on a Chromebook. So I got to investigate some of those things and see what's going to work for us and what's not. So questions, shoot me an email, and have a good weekend.